y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative Podcast. Today is Saturday, January 22nd, 2022, and this is episode 27. Had to look at my notes for a minute. It's only been 3 weeks since I did a whip parade, at least, or actually a last episode, which is really good for me, but I still have a lot to show you, particularly in the cross stitch area. So I'll try to keep this short, but, I ramble on. So grab something to drink and some knitting or some cross stitch, and let me start with what I got. First, hearsay. Since I last recorded, which was the week after Christmas, it's been New Year's. We didn't do anything New Year's. I think I told you that we had some plans with another couple, but they ended up getting sick a couple of days before New Year's, so we just went ahead and called it off and had a quiet New Year's here. Not much else. Work has been in a bit of a hybrid mode where we are rotating just one person from each team through the office to try to keep everybody from having to be there. The rest of us are working from home on our schedule. So, excuse me, I'm in the office a couple of days a week. Pardon me. I just had a swallow of water and it wasn't quite going down my throat correctly. Anyway, so I have been in the office a couple of days a week, working from home most of the other days. And it's been relatively quiet. We're in kind of a holding pattern right now, waiting to see if the courts are going to require redistricting maps to be redrawn. I had a nice weekend away last weekend with a couple of crafting girlfriends. We went to the beach just to have a place to get away together and sit around and craft all day. We visited, we were down in Southport, North Carolina, which is in southeastern North Carolina, just south of Wilmington, and we visited a really nice shop in Southport. We were actually on Oak Island. We visited a nice shop in Southport, which is close by on the mainland, called Angel Wing Needle Arts. They're a really nice little shop. They have yarn, they have fabric, they have cross stitch, they have some felt applique, they have some, I think they have some needlepoint. Now I can't remember if I saw needlepoint or not, but great, particularly if you're down vacationing in that area. It's a great little shop for whatever craft you do. You should be able to find something to entertain you. So spend some money there, which I'll show you later in the episode. But other than that, we had some really good food. Ate at Fishy Fishy for lunch on Saturday, and then we had dinner Saturday night at Joseph's, which was an Italian restaurant. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. So definitely recommend those two if you're down the area. It was cold, wet, and rainy for the weekend, but that was fine because we were just hunkered down crafting. On the other hand, where I live, it was cold, wet, and icy. And we had a little bit of a power outage, which ended up, I think, not lasting more than an hour or so, although my husband, it was NFL playoff weekend, so as soon as the power went out, my husband went over to a friend's house that still had power so he could keep watching games. And I think the power was only out for about an hour, but he didn't come back till, 4 or 5 hours later. Anyway, long story short, power outage is something to our ovens. We have double wall ovens, which I will admit are like 35 years old. So they've had a good long life. But so tomorrow we are going to Lowe's to see what kind of ovens we're going to replace them with. Unfortunately, double wall ovens, the cheapest double wall ovens are like $2,000. So anyway, we would have gone today, but ice last weekend. This weekend, we actually have snow in central and eastern North Carolina. The roads are actually okay right now. My husband's gone out for a little bit, but we did get probably 2 to 3 inches of snow here, which is very unusual for us. So I'm just taking advantage of the snow to kind of call it a snow day and pretend I can't go anywhere and hunker down. So anyway, I think that's about it. For hearsay, let's get into verdicts. I don't have many verdicts this week. One knitting thing I finished is I did finish my habitation throw, which is a scrap throw that I showed you in my whip parade. And this is just random bits of scrap, leftover fingering weight yarn, from various projects. There's still ends hanging off because I haven't woven all of them in. I've got to go back through the pattern I'm sorry, this pattern is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It was part of her Knit Vent collection, I think in 2019. I knit this on US 5 3.75 millimeter needles. I did most of this blanket using the magic knot to change colors as the pattern suggests. But as I got through the last third of the blanket, I noticed a couple of the knots had come undone. So I've gone back and re-knotted them. Fortunately, it's just garter stitch, so it's not that obvious if it's not quite right. And I did the last part of the blanket using a different join. But I need to go back through the first part of the blanket and find all those magic knots and just go ahead and take them out and tie different knots, just because I want to be able to throw this in the washing machine and I don't trust them to hold. I've never used magic knots a lot. I'm 99% sure I did it correctly because I watched a couple of YouTube tutorials, and the couple of times I've used them in previous projects, I have not had a problem with them. For some reason, they just weren't staying in this one, and I just found a random stitch marker on this that I need to take out. So anyway, but this is just like a little throw. Right now, I'd say it's about 42 or so by 42. It will probably be a little bit bigger once I wash it because garter stitch stretches out some, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I might actually give it to somebody, or I saw something recently where a local hospice, I think, was looking for blankets and, you know, like lap blankets for their hospice patients. So I may donate to that. But the only other verdict I have is I got my December Just Keep Looping loops. They've been running a little behind. As a matter of fact, the January box is a little behind too because they can't seem to catch a break. Apparently, their shipper has completely lost the package that had their loops coming from Harrisfield Design. So, but you know, it's not a big deal. It's not like a big rush. But anyway, I made all 4 pot holders from that. So this was one. I really like this turquoise with little hits of orange that they did this month. And this was the December package, but they come, like the December package comes kind of themed for January, and January package will be kind of themed for February. The January package, I saw a video, she showed the loops, and I've already gotten the patterns. It's a very like dusty rose, and it's really pretty. So anyway, so made those. And that is all the verdicts that I have this time. So we'll get into Court is in Session, and we'll start with knitting. The first thing I'm going to show you is I decided this year, as I believe I mentioned in my 2022 plans, whips and plans video, to go back to doing a pair of socks a month. And I am at least starting out the year doing them with Desert Vista Dye Works. I don't know if I will do all year long of Desert Vista Dye Works, but I probably will do at least the first 6 months where I start a pair of socks in the month and finish them in the month. And so this month for January, I am doing Desert Vista Dye Works Winter Rainbow. And right now these are in a little Jan Smiley bag. Socks are what I carry around in my pocketbook. So here is where I am so far. I've turned the heels and just started on the leg. So I will get those finished in the next week or so. They have to be finished by the 31st in order to qualify. I mean, I can finish them whenever. But Desert Vista Dye Works, if you're interested in that, check it out. But you basically, if you do a pair, they have to be all Desert Vista Dye Works yarn, including the heels, toes, and cuffs. And if you do a pair for 3 months, you get a discount code for 30% off. If you do a pair for 6 months, you get a free skein of yarn. If you do a pair for 12 months, then you get a exclusive colorway free skein of yarn. The one at 6 months is a colorway of your choice. And for every 3 months every 3 months together, or quarter or whatever that you do it, you get a code for 30% off. So, you know, it's a great marketing thing for her because people buy more yarn. You have to do it out of her yarn, and then you get discount codes to buy more of her yarn. And I have a ton of her yarn. I think you can see this box right here, you can't see the whole box. That is completely full of Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn. And there's a couple more skeins in the box on top of it that you can't see. So anyway, my second knit project is my 2022 high-low temperature cowl, which I've also, I think, mentioned. I'm not going to show you the yarn because it's all in little baggies, but I'm using my the Fiber Studio Yarns to Die For 2020 Advent Kit for this. And this is a corrugated rib pattern. And so what I'm going to show you is through temperature through last Saturday, the 15th, was last Saturday the 15th? Anyway, I work on this every Sunday and catch up through the Saturday before. So this is the knit stitches are the high temperature of the day, the rib stitches are the low temperature of the day. And as you can see, I'm trying to figure, I'm doing light a little bit different this time, and maybe this isn't the best way, but that's actually, that ribbed area, the purl stitches are actually two colors. One's kind of a cream and one's kind of a very light gray, but both of those are really low temperatures. We've actually had some cold temperatures, and then the knit stitches are the high temperature for the day. I haven't, maybe I could show you, well, so we've been as high as the 75 to 79 range. And then I probably should have, in hindsight, I used the same range that I'm using for my temperature bookshelf for cross stitch, which is only high temperatures. And so I only have a less than 35 because our high temperature is rarely below 35. And I probably should have done some more ranges below that since I'm doing low temperatures, because there's been a lot of 20s and low 30s. So the first part of this is the ribbing is going to be largely these two colors, which is hard to differentiate between just because of that. But I'm not going to go back at this point and rearrange all my colors and that sort of thing. It is what it is. So, I have also worked a little bit on my zigzag scarf. It won't look too much different, but I will show you. I'm doing this out of two colors of Lang Yarn DePinto. And oh, I should have told you, this is in a Fat Squirrel bag, and this is the temperature cowl, and I'm doing it on US 4 3.5 millimeter, and that pattern is by Victoria Myers. Sorry. So my zigzag scarf, I'm just alternating. This is a pattern by Christy Cam. I'm doing it on US 3s 3.25 millimeter needles. And then just alternate the two skeins of yarn, you know, a row across and back, and then alternate. And that's just kind of a semi-mindless. It's not as mindless as it should be because the yarn kind of wants to stick to itself, so it's splitty. So I do have to kind of pay attention a little bit to make sure that I'm not like totally splitting the yarn. So, and then the last knitting project to show you is my Bounce Blanket by Tin Can Knits. This is in a bucket bag from Cottontail Farm, VA. I am doing this in Universal Yarn Cotton Supreme on US 7 4.5 millimeter needles. And I'm pretty sure I have made some decent progress on this since I showed it to you last. I think I've gotten most of another color repeat done. Now that I've finished the habitation throw, this will get a little more work because I want to finish that. I have a coworker that whose wife is having a baby in April, and I think that's going to be for them. So I think that is all for the knitting. I'm going to swap some stuff and reset, and I'll be back in just a second for you. Okay, on to the cross stitch portion of Court is in Session. I worked on a couple of things end of 2021 right after I recorded last that I didn't get a lot of work done on, but I was going to show you just because they are a little bit different from what I last showed. The first is Reindeer Games, which is in this Lynn X Stitch Create bag. This is a pattern by Erica Michaels, and I'm doing the one that in the frame with all of the called for, I think. I don't think I have any substitutions. If I do, there is a link below to my Linktree, and there's also a link below to my cross-stitch spreadsheet on Google Drive. And I think the Google Drive sheet is a separate link, but it might be in the Linktree. I can't remember. So anyway, this is where, here's where I am on this. I don't remember exactly, whoops, sorry. Don't remember exactly where I was before I last recorded. I can't remember. At one point I realized I had done this elf and some of the word elf and some of the portion of this elf in the same color as the other words, not realizing that that was a color change. And I had to rip that out and replace that. So I'm not sure if I had done that before or after I last showed you this. And then I know I've done more on this one. This is Dancer by Barbara Anna Designs, and I'll have to put a picture in here. This is from the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, winter 2021. I can't remember what I'm doing that I just showed. Oh, that Reindeer Games is on all the called for, and I can't remember. It's 40 count straw, I think, weeks. This is on a 36 count Stonehenge by Stitch Me. And I actually have a little bit more that I know which way it goes this time. I think when I showed it to you last time, I had no idea which way it went. I am doing a sulky conversion on this. So I'm just kind of working it out as I go. That's a little bit more of the deer's forehead and an eye socket. This is in a... We did this last time and now I can't remember. Oh, this is Gamma's Treasures. Is this bag. And then next I also put a little bit more work into Happily Ever After by the Frosted Pumpkin. This is in a brass button bag with Beauty and the Beast on it. This was the 2017 Stitch Along for Frosted Pumpkin, which I started January 2017 and then promptly stopped working on. And I did that center part with the letters. I started that center where it says happily, it will say Happily Ever After. I had done all the little scenes around that, so I just started that center part. And then let's see, I did a little bit of work on Winter Rose Manor, which is a pattern by Brenda Gervais with Dye Needle and Thread. I'm doing this on, I think it's XJU Design, 36 count XJU Design Milk Coffee. And I did a little bit more on the border and started that little motif right there. Doing that in all of the called for floss, I believe. And then Pam, I can't remember Pam's, it's not Dumont, it's something with a D. I can't remember exactly her last name. Pam from from Stitching in the Land of Good Enough, who is also the owner of the shop Stitch New England in North Attleboro, Massachusetts, does a monthly Zoom for people doing Hawk Run Hollows. And so we had one of those last week, so I did a little bit on my Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. This is another brass button bag, which is just Christmas themed. And I'm still on block 1. I'm doing this in the called for DMC. This is 27 count Linda Even Weave. I'm doing this 1/1. I may modify the colors a little bit as I go along, but so far I'm doing it in the called for DMC. And then my 2022 Temperature Bookshelf cross-stitch project, which I showed you last time because I had started working on the bookshelf. I have actually put some days in. And again, like I mentioned, I work on these. This is in a Sock Monkey bag. I believe this is Lynn X Stitches Creates. I work on these on Sundays, so far this is through last Saturday the 15th. And so I've gotten those books in. And as you can see, these 2 days, the high temperature was in the same range. And over here, I've got 3 books. So at some point, I will decide, I will probably find a color to backstitch between those that is just dark enough to distinguish between the books, but not really stand out. I just haven't decided what that's going to be yet. So I'll figure that out a little bit later. And that is a pattern by Christie's Corner on, I believe that was Etsy. I believe she's on Etsy. And I'm doing that on, what fabric am I doing that on? That is a piece of 36 count Jody fabric. Jody from the Steel City Stitchers. I did her club for a while. Unfortunately, I've had to cancel hers because I was getting way too much fabric. So I let that one go. Next was my New Year, New Start. This is in a bag by Buckleberry Quilts, who, interestingly enough, lives in my hometown of Reidsville, North Carolina. And the inside of it has, I think they're elephants. There's elephants and cats. And cute little trim right there. Very nice. I am doing, this is Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. And that's where I am so far. I am doing this in 40 count antique white Zweigart. I'm using Silks for You silks. The main color that I'm using, the variegated, is PR 147. Right now I'm doing the animals in PR 123, which is just a more solid color of kind of one of the shades in the variegated. So it doesn't look much different. I just didn't really want the variegated running through the animals. So I did want a lot of contrast. So far, I'm not 100% sure if I love it. But we'll see. I've got one more bird over here. When I get to that one, I think I'll make a better decision. My camera is my phone. It's probably not picking up the color difference very well. I don't know if you can tell that the bird has a little bit more of the hint of green to it. So, but anyway, even if it's not super noticeable, it doesn't conflict, I guess. So I'm good with it. The question is whether I'll make the effort to continue. I think I will, because I think the animals will stand out a little bit better if they're not variegated, if they don't change color in the middle of it. And then let's see. Oh, so this was this is actually one of my Whip Go calls for January. Also, it's my New Year, New Start. It's also one of my Whip Go calls for January. So for Whip Go, I have set yearly goals, but in practice, I am doing at least a Monday through Friday focus on them. So what I have done this month, before I get into the rest of my projects, is I'm juggling a couple things. So I have a decision wheel. So 2 weeks of each month will be my Whip Go projects. 2 weeks will be projects off my decision wheel, which include all my Whip Go projects. They're the same projects, but so that way every project will get at least 2 weeks during the year of focus. But also I have giving for my 2 Whip Go projects, because I have yearly stitch goals on them each month, get at 2 of the other weeks get like 1 thread / 30 minutes a day. And I say 1 thread / 30 minutes a day because 1 thread on this, since I've got kind of longer threads cut because I'm doing a single thread, is about 30 minutes. On like Winter Cabin, my other one, which I'll show you in a minute, 1 thread is not 30 minutes, so I'm doing 30 minutes. So anyway, so for example, this month I'm also playing Choose My Whip on Semi Sane Stitchers. So the first week of the year, Choose My Whip chose Winter Cabin, which was one of my Whip Go pieces. So it got its Whip Go week that week, and then Pandemic got one thread a day. Pandemic should be my Choose My Whip this next week, and so Winter Cabin will get one thread a day. And then so the second week, I had a different project for Choose My Whip off my decision wheel, and Pandemic got one thread a day still. And then this past week, it was a different project, but Winter Cabin was getting at least getting 30 minutes a day. So that way, my Whip Go projects every month get not only a week, but 2 of the other weeks 30 minutes a day. So they're basically getting a concentrated week and 2 weeks of at least one thread or 30 minutes a day. I hope all that makes sense. That's it makes sense in my head. Anyway, so that's Pandemic by Long Dong Samplers. And I think I told you I'm doing that on 40 count antique white Zweigart. My other Whip Go for the month is Winter Cabin, which is a Dimensions kit. And I am doing this with all of the kit floss on kit fabric. Hard as hell, 14 count Aida as it is. But I stuck to the 14 count because Dimensions, this is a Dimensions Gold, and there are several half stitches, 10 stitches that are done with like 4 strands, and I wasn't about to try to pull 4 strands through something smaller than 14 count. So this is where I am. And I don't usually do like this is where I was last time, this is where I am now pictures. I'm debating, I did take beginning of the year pictures. So I don't know. I probably will put here's where I was and here's where I am now in here. But y'all let me know if you care about that or not. I typically have not done that. But I've noticed several other floss tubers doing it, and it's not something that's necessary for me, although it's kind of cool to see. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then, so like I said, my Whip Goes and my decision wheel are all focused Monday through Friday, so that on weekends I can continue to work on those projects, or I can work on, Sweewee, whatever I want. The last 2 weekends every weekend so far this year, I've started a new project. So January 1st was a Saturday, so I started Pandemic, which was my New Year, New Start. The next Saturday, I had 2 projects that I recently finished kitting up that I just couldn't resist. One you've saw this last time in my Stashing for Retirement. This is Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. Sorry, there we go, trying to get rid of the glare. And I decided to do this. This pattern is actually written in Anchor with a little bit of specialty floss, which I had bought the beading and specialty floss kit when I bought the pattern. And so I decided, because now at Joann's and Michael's they have the Anchor in the spools, I decided to do this in the Anchor and do it in called for. Because they're on spools, I still have created one of my things, one of these for each color, so that as I cut off a 6 strand length, but I'm doing it 2 strands, I can put the rest of that length on here until I I forgot I'd done that. I didn't have enough of these when I set this up, so I set one up on here. This was my second one. It's actually a leftover frosted pumpkin something or other. So anyway, I am doing this on 28 count Picture This Plus Nocturne. Where is my stitching? There we go. And I haven't done a ton on this yet, but here's where I am. I started in the middle on this one. Oh, I've got it upside down, sorry. So that is a little bit of the horse's flank. I decided to start in the middle on this one because I love the look of this border. But I knew if I started up here, if I started up here, my brain would want to do this whole entire thing before I start here. And I didn't want to do that because I would get tired of doing that. So I started in the middle, and I'm going to work my way to one side to the border so that I can then alternate, do a little bit of the border, do a little bit of the picture. I just haven't gotten that far yet. Oh, and this is in, this is a brass button bag with llamas. And I didn't show you my winter cabin is in a Christmassy Lynn X Stitch Creates bag. Okay, and then one of my decision wheel calls this month was Tree of Magic by Barbara Anna. This bag is Stitch Toolbox, I think, is what I decided. Yes, Stitch Toolbox. This is a kit. I think I said it's Tree of Magic. And I'm going to put a picture here because I did find last time a better picture that has the whole thing than what the little card I have is. So I'll put a picture here. This is a kit that is only available through Nitka Moscow. And here is where I was at the beginning of the year. And this got a week's focus. And here is where I am now. My Whip Go goal for this is actually only to finish down through here. And I am almost done with that second shelf. Well, I've got, I mean, there's more to do. But easily in another week's progress, I will finish that second shelf. And then I will probably go back ahead and do the back stitching on those two shelves. I haven't decided. When I cross stitched when I was younger, I always did the back stitching last. And because I use Q-snaps, I'm a little hesitant to do the back stitching and then the back stitching be trapped under a Q-snap and maybe get stretched a little bit. I don't know. Am I overthinking that? So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue. I haven't done a whole lot of, well, I haven't finished a whole lot of projects that have back stitching that were big enough that they had to be moved around a Q-snap. I've done a couple smaller ones that all fit in one place, so I didn't ever have to move it. So let me know if you have any thoughts about that or anything I need to look out for. And then last weekend at the beach, I did another new start. This is also in a brass button bag, the Grinch. This is my newest Grinch bag that I just got from her this Christmas. And has inside more Grinchy. I love the Grinch. This is, let's see if I can show you this in the plastic without taking it all the way out. Winter White Santa by Mirabilia. I also have the Snow Queen started. For some reason, I'm a real big fan. I'm not a real big fan of the whole fancy lady thing with Mirabilia, but I really like her wintry ones. So I decided to start this last weekend. I basically took it to the beach with me because I had all the floss and I wanted to snip it all and get it all set up to start, and I decided to go ahead and start it. I am doing this on 32 count XJU design in the Little Dove colorway. I haven't done too much because I only worked on it 2 days for a little bit, but that's what I've got so far. So, looking forward to that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep everything together. And then the last whip to show you is the one I have been working on this week. This is in a Stitch Toolbox bag. This is Bayou Cat by Al Forst Embroidery. And I will put a picture here of where I was at the beginning of the year, or when I last worked, on it, which was before the beginning of the year. And here is where I am now. So working on projects the Monday through Friday focus is really, it's at least showing substantial progress that I can see for me. So, so far that's working well. This, my Whip Go goal for this, for the year is 2,000 stitches. And I know I've gotten over 1,000 this week, but I haven't added it up yet to see. So, it's possible. I'm not that frame that it's in won't fit in that bag, but it's possible that I may get that Whip Go goal done. I don't know if I'll work on it anymore today, so it may stop where it is and wait till the next time it comes up. So, we'll see. But anyway, so that is all of my quarters in session, which is what I call my whips. And the only other thing really to show you is my stashing for retirement, which I had somewhere. I'm going to pause again and get the bag closer to me so I can show you everything that I've gotten since then. Okay, stashing for retirement. Most of this I purchased towards the end of the year, and it just came in since the last time. There's a little bit, some of it's my regular clubs, and then some of it is from Angel Wing Needle Arts. So we'll start with club stuff. I got my January Color and Cotton. I'm not, well, you can't see through that plastic. I was going to say I'm not going to take them out, but I just get the 5 skeins. So those are the colors for January. I have one new club that I did add this year that I haven't gotten my first order from that I'm excited about is I got into Crazy Annie's Classic Colorworks. I love the Color and Cotton, but not many patterns are written for Color and Cotton. So I use them when I want to switch to Fancy Floss. But I don't have, a big stash of some of the fancy flosses that are called for in a lot of patterns. So I usually have to buy them per pattern, and I'd like to start accumulating. So I also got my Forbidden Fiber for the month. And this is Antique Fuchsia, Honeycomb, Garland, which is, I think you can kind of see there's a little hint of green to that. Copper. Probably should have a white piece of paper or something to hold these up behind these. Viscount. I always want to say Viscount, but I think it's pronounced Viscount. I never took French, I took Spanish. Witch's Brew. This one's really pretty. It's kind of a greeny. Masquerade. Cosmos Fields. I don't know if you can kind of see, there's little hints of pink in that. You may not be able to see that. Shadow, which is a silvery gray. Tutu. And then the 2 one-of-a-kinds are Icicle, which I really like. That's like blues and purples. My blue sweatshirt, you're probably not able to see that. And then Turquoise Stone, which is gray and turquoise. So those were Forbidden Fiber Co. for January, I think. Yeah, I think those were January. And then I got my last, I was in the Shades of Gray Club for Fortnite Fabrics last year. 36 count. This is Pack Hunter. I'm not going to take that one out. It's, grayish, but it's got a hint of purple to it. And then my January 2022 Forbidden Fiber Co. fabric, which was my last one. I'm keeping the floss, but I've canceled the fabric just because I'm, like I said, too much fabric. Is Lavender Fields. So, and that's also 36 count. When I was trying to get Sleepy Hollow and Winter White Santa kitted up. Winter White Santa was called for 32 count. Sleepy Hollow called for 28 count, which probably could have been on 32 count, but both of them have beads, so I didn't want to go higher than 32 count for the beads to fit right. I realized I knew, because 36 count is my sweet spot, but if you're doing beads, they don't fit right. I didn't have a lot of 32 count, 28 count, and I didn't really want to subscribe. So in looking for the right fabrics for those, and of course I was looking online because I don't have any local place to really go and look at fabrics that has a good selection. And I was ordering several things that looked like they might work. I got a few more 28 and 32 counts. And then a couple of these, as I was looking, I liked them. And so I went ahead and got a 28 or a 32 count. So from Fire Poppies, oops, sorry, something off. I was looking to see what it was. Fire Poppies is a shop in Summerville, South Carolina. They have like the fastest shipping in the world. I swear I order stuff and before 8 a.m. the next morning I get a notice that with a shipping number, which of course it hasn't been picked up by the post office yet, but somebody's in the damn shop packing that shit up. I don't know who it is, but they are super fast on their shipping. I mean, I'm about 4 hours from them, like driving. If I order from them, I will usually have it 2 days later, no more than 3 days later. And that's like one day for it to be picked up and then delivered to me the next day. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, so I got a 32 count beige gray from XJU Designs. 32 count tarnish from Picture This Plus. And that's got a hint of green to it. Yeah, that's about accurate. 32 count cornflower from XJU Designs. Is that cornflower? Yeah. Because I'm a sucker for blue. And 28 count dusk from Color and Cotton. And that, I don't think I can get the color. That's got a hint of a pinkish purplish to it. It's kind of like a gray with some pinkish purple to it. Think dusk. And then also I got, this was from Hobby House Needleworks. Fiber on a Whim, 32 count Lugana Silver Fox. And I actually, based on the picture, thought this was going to be more silver. I had picked this one up as a possible option for Winter White Santa. It's actually a lot more green. It's still beautiful, and I'll find something to use it for. And then from 123 Stitch, 28 count Picture This Plus Dwarf. Their stickers are weird. Blue. And 28 count Picture This Plus Mystic. This was one that was a possible for Sleepy Hollow, but I decided it was a little bit too dark. It has a little more green in it too than is showing. So my phone, I record on my phone because I don't do this enough or make money off this, so it's not worth buying another camera to have to do it on for me. And it doesn't distinguish blue green real well. It just makes everything blue. So anyway, so that was it for fabric. Sorry if I shook the camera a little bit. And then of course I've got some charts. So when we went to Angel Wing, I bought a little bit of quilting fabric, which I'm not going to show you. Did not buy any yarn because I have plenty of yarn, but I did buy some cross stitch pattern and a couple of mill hill kits. So I got this, which is My Country by La Di Da. Now the called for on this is either needlepoint silks or DMC. Because this is kind of primitive looking, I wanted a little bit of variegation, but one, Angel Wing does not carry any silks, and but I did want to do it in DMC, so she does carry DMC, so what I did is I pulled the DMCs it called for, and then I compared to her Gentle Arts and found Gentle Arts to do this in. So this is partially kitted. I haven't picked out a fabric, but I've got the floss for that. So I got dungarees, old red paint, apple cider, and garden gate to do that in. So I went ahead and bought hand-dyed flosses for that to do when I do that. And then I got I've been buying all the Mill Hill kits. I'm not sure why, but I love them. So I got Fa La La Llamas, Reindeer Chorus, moonlit treaters. And lighthouse, because we're at the beach, so of course that made sense. So that was it for angel wings. I ordered from 123 Stitch, not when I ordered the fabric, but 123 Stitch I had put a request to notify me when the tacky bill was in stock. I don't know if y'all have heard of the tacky bob. It's like the CD case with the sticky the beads, which apparently they don't make anymore, but somebody's making now a tacky bill, which is basically the same thing. And I had put a notice on a thing on 123 Stitch to notify what was in stock, and I got the notice, so I went and ordered it. And then, you know, nothing, you can't just buy one thing. So I thought, well, hey, I'm getting a beading thing. Let me buy some more Mill Hill kits, because this was before the ones I'd just shown you. So then I got a notice that all this other stuff had shipped, but the tacky bill wasn't in stock and they'd have to wait for more. So I guess they sold out too fast. But anyway, I'll get it eventually. But I got some more Mill Hill kits. So I got Ollie Elf, Winter Woods, Dragonfly Fuchsia, Spooky Gate, and Moonstruck. I think I'm going to need to take a page out of Candace's book and do Mill Hill Monday or something, because I've got a lot of them. And then a couple other things. Let's see, what else did I get? So I think I got this. These were from, also in that same 123 Stitch order, I got House Guest from Satsuma Street, which is also a kit with beads. And then I got, I've really been looking at these Madame Chantilly Celebrates, and so I narrowed it down to my favorite, which was Celebrate Winter. And got that one. A little disappointed because I had saw from somebody on, I think it was Candace, from Candace K, who said that I prefer PDFs. And you can get her patterns PDFs, but she said don't get her PDF because there's a big watermark across it. So I ordered the actual print pattern instead. Let me, and there's still a watermark across part of the pattern. I mean, it's only over a little bit, and I can figure it out, but it's still annoying that, it's like a stamp. It's actually not even watermark. It's like an ink stamp. Now, it's only on one page of it, but still, it's kind of I mean, I'm a lawyer. I get the copyright. I get trying to protect your stuff. But, I don't know, just don't do it in a way that interferes with the use of the pattern. So, anyway, I got that. And then off of, I don't know if I got this from 123 Stitch or a different order, but I got the Antique Scissors by Shakespeare's Peddler. I was initially thinking that I might do this as my small for StitchCon, but I've changed my mind, so not gonna do that. And then from Hobby House Needleworks, I think that's all the rest of this. No, I take that back. I got Carla from Cobbler Corner kept doing like sales at the end of the year where she'd put several designers up 30% off for a few days, and so I ordered Heartstring Sampler, Christmas Bells Sampler, and then I got Silver Creek Fleece on Earth. I was trying to figure out what the actual name of it was. And I love this one, Histoff. This was like an August Expo release, and I kept looking at it and didn't buy it, and I finally just said 30% off, I'm buying it. So got those from her. And then from Hobby House Needleworks, I got, of course, the Fox from A Year in the Woods, and the Swans. And I just ordered yesterday the Jackrabbits, which has come out. I have decided that I am buying all of these, but I will not probably will not start any of them this year. I want to see the whole set, and then I will decide whether I want to do it all. And if I do want to do it all, do I want to do it all as one piece? Do I want to do it individuals? They're really not that big. They're 100 by 130. So if you do it on 40 count, they're like 5 by 6.5, 5.5 by 7.25 if you do it on 36 count. So they're small enough that you could do individuals and, you know, swap them out or something. I don't know. I want to see the whole series before I know. But those are Cottage Garden. Cottage Garden is the designer of those. There's Cottage Garden, there's Country Cottage Needleworks I'm getting ready to do. There's Carriage House Samplings. There's some of these names designer names are too familiar. And then somebody, I don't remember where I saw this. If I saw it, maybe it was Helen D showed it on hers, that she had done this whole thing, except she changed one block. I don't remember. Anyway, I had never seen Country Cottage Needleworks. What is this whole set called? Frosty Forest? Yeah, Frosty Forest. And I loved it. So I bought the whole set, and I bought from Hobby House Needleworks. They had the whole set, and they had the buttons to go with each piece. So I bought the whole set and the buttons. I probably don't have these in the right order, but Snowy Forest, Bluebird Cabin, Snowy Deer, that's one of my favorite ones. Snowy Friends, the squirrels. Snowy Reindeer. Snowman's Cottage. Snow Girl's Cottage. Raccoon Cabin. And Frosty Forest. So I got that whole set. Again, have not decided yet when or how I will do them, but I thought it was really cute. So I think I probably will do that one all as one piece at some point, but we'll see. And then the only other thing that I bought pattern-wise that I wanted to tell you about, because I can't show you anything, is today the Stitching Book Club Narnia Mystery Stitch Along was released for, like, I guess it's pre-order, because you order it, the pattern doesn't start till February 12th or something. I have not done any of the Stitching Book Club's patterns before. Some of them I've really liked. Some of them I've been and so I haven't fully jumped on the gotta have it every month bandwagon. But I love Chronicles of Narnia. I love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I knew that this particular stitch along is a limited, she has gotten permission from C.S. Lewis's family, who controls the rights to his books and all that stuff, to do the pattern. And I believe the pattern is actually going to be copyrighted to them, not to her. And has a limited number, I think, of times she can sell it. So I knew that it was one of those things that if I didn't get it now, I really might not ever be able to get it again. And because it was Narnia, FOMO kept me from doing it. So I don't know that I will start it on February 12th. I will probably wait and I love the colors of it. But I will probably wait and kind of see what it looks like before I decide whether I'm going to be in a rush to start it. So we'll see. When the first release comes out, I'll decide then. And it's all in DMC, and I have a full set of DMC. So, you know, if I see the first one and think, oh my God, I got to start it, I'll probably be able to do that within 24 hours. So, anyway, I think that is all. Plans, I don't have any specific plans. We are going to the mountains next weekend, Thursday through the following Monday, with some friends, the same friends we go to the beach with in September every year. So it will be hanging out and drinking and playing games and, you know, doing whatever, going up and blowing rock. And who knows, maybe we'll get some more snow. And other than that, work, you know, like I said, is in a little bit of a holding pattern at the moment. Don't have any big plans for February. Carolina Fiber Fest is March 11th and 12th in Raleigh at the State Fairgrounds and the Expo Center. If you are a knitter, spinner, weaver, crocheter, felter, fiber artist, no cross-stitch stuff, sorry, that I'm aware of. Rug hooking, we do have some rug hooking vendors. Mark your calendars for that. In my next episode, I should have done that today, but I haven't blocked them yet. In my next episode, I will show you the craft along projects for that, which are up on our website right now, if you'd like to participate in those. We give out pins at the event if you show up with one of our craft along projects. We also have the pins from 2020 since that event was canceled literally at the last minute. If you do the 2020 project, bring that. We will give you a 2020 pin as well. And so I will probably be doing some more work on that in February and prepping for that. And that's about it. Other than that, for February, the WhipGo calls have not been made, but I will do the 2 WhipGo projects, and then I will do 2 other for my decision wheel. I know that one of them will be One Nation, because I had to run that this week to give an alternate to my pandemic for my Choose My Whip on semi-sane stitchers. And I don't know yet what the other one will be. I will pull that at the beginning of the month so that I can then decide kind of when I want to work on what. So I'm going to continue that rotation I've been doing. It seems to be working. But anyway, I think that's it. If you like the video, please like, please subscribe. Please leave me comments. I have tried to be better about responding to comments. Not that I get tons, but it's one of those things. It pops in my email and I think, oh, I'll reply to that when I have time to think about it, because I'm like on my phone out and about and I see it in my email and I forget. So my brain is a sieve these days. It sucks getting old. Anyway, so I hope y'all have a good week. I hope y'all are having good weather wherever you are. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Hopefully we're going to see the end of this COVID stuff sometime in the near future. We'll see. But anyway, I will talk to you later. Bye, y'all.